Hello, good people. So today I'm going to be reading a comment from one of my old videos left by Mr. Kenneth Stewart. Um, it was actually a pretty interesting comment, and I said, hey, you know what, if he's going through this, someone else may be going through it. So I said, I'm going to make a video on it and see other people's thoughts and opinions on it. So to read it off, he said, he asked, what if you start off the journey? What if you start the journey after starting the relationship? I recently retired from the Army, and my locks are a symbol of my freedom. I can tell my wife's thoughts on it are changing as it grows. She liked it when it was in the TWA stage, and if you may not know what the TWA stage stands for, it's the teeny weeny afro stage. I actually found out about a year ago. She liked it when it was in a TWA stage, and I sponged it. She said it looked very ethnic. Now when we FaceTime, I catch her staring at my hair. She says it's distracting. She says it's distracting her. She is a senior soldier, and I will eventually accompany her to a formal gathering, and I'm curious of the conversation. So to basically sum this up, this brother here is married. He just got out of the military, but his wife is still in. He will soon be accompanying her to a formal gathering because she's in the military. You have a lot of those, and basically he feels like she really ain't feeling his hair anymore. I'm guessing that he started off his locks a certain way, like he was sponging it, so it, when you're sponging it, it has that manicured twisted look, and I'm guessing he's kind of starting to try to let it go. I don't know if he's trying to freeform or not, or he's just whatever he's got going on, but I'm guessing that it's just not the same as it was at first. It's starting to grow a little bit more, and she's just not with it. Now, if you've ever been in the military, I think I have. I know Gorilla Locks, he watches me. He's former military. When you're in the military, one of the first things you want to do when you get out is grow your hair. A lot of people want to grow, especially men. Men, we just want to grow our hair, we want to grow our beards, because, and I've actually never heard that before. He said his locks are a sign of his freedom from getting out of the military. That's a first. It makes sense. But again, one of the first things you want to do is grow your hair out. Now, the problem with that is that you're still married to somebody that's in the military. When you're in the military, you know how it is. Everything is squared away, neat, put away, from your hair to your beard to the clothing that you wear on your body. Everything, it's just the military life. It's the military mindset. And you're going to be accompanying her, and you're going to be around it. I know it might sound bad, but again, for somebody who's still in, and if you were in, you know how things are. And unfortunately, it's just one of the pressures of society. For in your wife's case, it's an indirect pressure, because it's not her that's growing the hair, it's you that's growing the hair. And so it's as if she was actually trying to grow her hair a certain way, and she didn't feel like she was representing herself or presenting herself a certain way to a certain group of people. And in this case, it's the military people, her job, right? It's you doing it instead. So she still feels that indirect pressure of, okay, if I take this person with me, how are they going to fit in with, because right now her lifestyle is of military life, being squared away, hair being a certain way, having a certain look. So now you have somebody and you kind of feel like they're not up to par, but this is your husband though, you know what I mean? So that's tough. I know a lot of people will say, well, if someone doesn't accept you how you are, then leave them, but I mean, that's not the answer all the time, especially in a marriage. You can't just up and leave your wife because she don't like your hair. I think though, I'll say this, and I'm not saying this about his marriage specifically. I think though, if you want to leave somebody, whether it's a marriage or a relationship or whatever, if you decide to leave somebody because they don't accept your hair, 9 times out of 10, y'all probably had other things already in the way that was going on, and that was just one of the things that was like, okay, you know what I mean? It's not just about the hair. It's usually other things. So there's that. So I would say to talk to her, and that's why I said in one of my videos, my recent videos, that you gotta have a vision for your hair. And a vision for your hair, it's not just how you want it to look. It's also certain dynamics that you're gonna have to deal with. So it's relationships, it's friends, it's family, it's all of these things. And so you have to say, okay, I'm married. My wife wants me to look a certain way. My wife is attracted to me a certain way. But I, at this point in my life, want to express myself a different way. But that way out in which I want to express myself is entirely different from what she's used to, obviously coming out of the Army. So I would just talk and see what the compromise is. Is the compromise, I don't mind you with locks, but it can't be the untwisted kind, you know? Or I don't mind if you go that route, but I prefer that you get a retwist once in a while at least. So again, I don't really know which route you're going. I think I actually asked him, you know, which route he took. Obviously, he said he was sponging it at first. It sounds like he was sponging it at first, and now he just wants to let it go and maybe have some thicker locks or something like that. Or he just wants to express himself like that. That's what it sounds like to me. So it doesn't sound like you're going all out, like trying to go this route, but at least you're trying to have thicker locks than normal, right? So again, that comes with some compromise. I would talk to her and find out what the compromise is, because you also have to understand that she's in the military. Now, for people who haven't been in the military or haven't been with somebody who has a certain job, and there's pressures in that job, man. Like it just is what it is. You work with somebody who's working in a corporate environment, an office environment. It's just certain standards, man. It's just what it is. So if you are trying to get into a relationship with somebody, or you're in a relationship with somebody, I know it sounds trivial, but those are some things that you may have to take into account, because it's not just about you in a relationship. It's also about that person. Now I know, again, you might say, well, this is my hair, and what does my hair and my appearance have to do with this person's job? And because sometimes when people are in jobs, they take on the attitudes of said jobs. It's just what it is, especially if somebody's in the military. They just have a way about them. That's your life. That's what you're used to. So, and I think she says she's a senior in the Army. I don't exactly know Army rank, but it sounds pretty high. So she's been in for a while. And she's that's her life, that's her way of life. Anybody, if they're working a corporate job, usually it's their way of life. So and they have to, there's a lot of pressures in jobs like that. Even when you're not on the job per se, there's still a lot of pressures to maintain a certain level of professionalism, a certain look. It's just what it is, So, but that's the best thing I could say. I would say talk to your wife, man, and see what the compromise may be. Whatever that is, go with it. But also, I would also say though that no, you can't. I don't think that you should just leave somebody because of hair. But there's a line that you have to walk in relationships. You can't lose yourself either. But how important is growing your hair and expressing yourself in this way? Is how important is that to you right now? That's what I would say. Um, but that pretty much is all I have to say about this video. On this video, definitely let me know you guys' opinions and what would you do. Have you ever been in a situation where you had a certain job, you had to maintain a certain appearance, but your partner was opposite of that, and you had to think about, can you bring them around coworkers? Can you bring them to certain events? Let me know in the comments below. As usual, thanks for watching.